and get cozy. I always say get some water, get some tea, make sure you're comfy cozy because we have an action-packed webinar today, my friends. I'm so excited. Yes, Katie, get your tea. I'm here for it. I just got my boring old water, but I guess that's good too. I'll do tea. I'll do tea after that, okay? Come on in, friends. Settle in. Go ahead and introduce yourselves in the chat. Feel free. Put your name, your organization, as we're kind of waiting a few minutes before we get started. So everybody has the opportunity to join us and get logged in and make sure their volume's turned up and their cameras turned on. So Katie, it's so nice to meet you. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for being here. Cody, awesome, from Public Media Network in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Cody, awesome. I'm in Howell, Michigan. I'm not too far from you. I love Kalamazoo. Katie is with United Methodist Advocate. Awesome. Katie, thanks for being here. Penny is here from Longwood University in Farmville. Awesome. Thanks for being here, Penny. Listen, we got the party is started already. I am here for it. I can tell we got some good energy. We got good vibes in this room today, and I am here for it. Emily is from Troy, Michigan. Hey, Michigan represent. The Clipper Foundation, Carrie's from the Clipper Foundation. This is awesome. It's so great. We're all over the place, aren't we? Ohio. Sylvia, great to have you here. Leadership, that's in Lorain County. We've got Memphis, Tennessee. Hey, Tennessee. We got El Paso, Texas. Okay. We got the home state of Brooke over here. We love to see it. Oh my goodness, this is awesome, y'all. Keep the chat flying. Let's keep it going. We want to see everybody. We want to know where you're from, what organization you're with, okay? Like, we got the good stuff coming today. I'm so excited. This webinar is all about the power of peer-to-peer fundraising, okay? This is exciting. This is going to be a fun and interactive session today. And as you can see, as you're joining, we are in presentation mode, so feel free. You can keep those cameras on and you're able to engage in this interactive session today. So while you're coming in, taking these first couple minutes and just introducing yourselves, let us know where you're from. Let us know what state you're in. Anything else you want to tell us? Maybe there's other things. What are you drinking right now? You're drinking coffee? You're drinking tea? Like, let us know. What are you up to today as we are getting into the peer-to-peer fundraising discussion? We are here. We are excited to connect with y'all. Okay, it's going to be a fun session. Mary from Cadillac, Michigan. Listen, Michigan is in the house. I am here for that. Thank you, Michigan. Thank you, Mary. Candace from Memphis, Tennessee, Alpha Omega. Oh, I lost it. Veteran Services. Awesome. That's great. I love it. John, great to have you in from Rescued Rollers in Central Ohio. We got the Michigan, we got the Midwest too up in here. I am thrilled about that. So keep all of that coming, friends. Keep those conversations going. Let us know, Ariella, California. Awesome. Keep letting us know where you're from as we're kind of getting started here and welcoming everybody to the Zoom room. So I will go ahead and give my own introduction. My name is Stephanie, your Givebutter webinar host. I am zooming in also from this beautiful state of Michigan, and I am thrilled to be here with y'all today and super excited to talk about the power of peer-to-peer. But I am not here alone. Of course, you know who I've got with me, the butteriest of them all, Claudia. Claudia, hey friend.
Hello, all. I am just here admiring the chat, just seeing everyone who is showing up and showing out today for our webinar on peer-to-peer. My name is Claudia. I am the Customer Education Manager at Givebutter. You may have joined some office hours. I see some familiar names here. You may have seen us in Givebutter Academy. I'm just so eager to be joining you all for this webinar today. So thank you.
Me too, Claudia. Me too, my friend. And listen, we also have the amazing Brooke with us too, okay? She's behind the scenes, running things as always. Brooke, you're the best. Thank you for doing everything for us. We love you, superstar. And as our community continues to join in, let's review some housekeeping reminders as we're getting started. First of all, please remember the recording and slides will be emailed to you after the webinar. Have no fear, we've got your back. Please use that Q&A chat to ask questions. Of course, you can always light up the regular chat with your comments, your feedback, emojis. We always want to hear from you, but of course, always keep it respectful and kind, as you always do, Butterfam. You're the best. And with that, I think we're ready to take on the next step. Claudia, let's go.
Yes. So as I'm reading through the chat here, I see that there are a couple of new Givebutter customers here, which is fantastic to hear. I love being able to tell you all what you can expect with our wonderful platform. So for all of our change makers out there, here's a quick reminder of what you can do. So Givebutter is going to be this all-in-one fundraising platform. We have all of these amazing tools built for modern nonprofits. Emphasis on modern nonprofits, those who want to raise more and stress less. So we have everything from donation forms, fundraising events, built-in donor management and marketing tools. So yes, you have your CRM and your fundraising all in one tab. And of course, we have some seamless payment methods. So ACH, Venmo, credit card, debit card, Apple Pay, Google Pay. We have so much to offer your supporters here. So this is going to be everything you need to manage your nonprofit in one tab. Steph and I have both worked in nonprofits. We know you have many passwords, you have many windows open. Let's consolidate that all into just one seamless tool. And speaking of tools here, you asked and we listened. Brooke, if you can take us to the next screen. We have heard from so many organizations who have dedicated themselves to sharing their feedback with Givebutter that their biggest headache is getting event registrants to actually create a fundraising page. So if you have a walkathon, if you have some sort of event-based peer-to-peer fundraiser, you want to make sure that individual is purchasing their ticket, but also going on and actually creating their profile to help you out here. So registration fundraising is going to solve that by encouraging your participants to purchase a ticket or leave a minimum donation to get involved. You can even create pre-filled page templates for them so you can set suggested goals. You can even create a preset personal story for them. So we've already seen this increase some fundraiser conversion rates in early testing. So I'm super excited for all of you to dive into your dashboard, to take a look. It's free for everyone. And in some other news here, we are going to fundraise like it's 2025 because, my friends, it is. We have released our new Modern Fundraising Fundamentals badge, and this is going to help you recognize that you have the tools to use new online platforms and methods and strategies to launch modern fundraising campaigns, particularly for those digital first donors. It's just the way that we are moving. So we are so excited to release this badge, inspire you and other fundraisers everywhere to raise more and do more using Givebutter's tools. Thanks, Brooke. Take it away, Steph.
I love it. Thank you so much, Claudia. Let's get that badge. We all need to get that. I need to get in there and get my badge too. So thank you, Claudia, so much. Let's get after it, community. So let's dive into today's session, friends. The power of peer-to-peer. Quick in the chat, like, let us know, what do you think of peer-to-peer? Are we happy about peer-to-peer? Are we confused? Are we excited? Like, where are we when it comes to peer-to-peer fundraising? And I know that can look like a lot of things. So it can be a lot of emotions and a lot of feelings coming up. But we're going to dive in. And this session really today is just going to help you feel so empowered to launch a successful peer-to-peer campaign. So to get started, what is peer-to-peer fundraising? Okay, I love it. Okay, so hold on. We see some colleague to colleague, scared of execution. Emily, I feel you. That's okay. We've got this. John loves the idea of peer-to-peer. Katie feels slightly nauseated at the thought. Oh, Katie, listen, you're not alone, okay? You are here amongst others who feel your pain, but also there's a lot of encouragement here for you too, my friends. So we're going to dive into it. Peer-to-peer campaigns empower your supporters to raise funds on behalf of your nonprofit by asking their friends, family, and network to give. That's what it's really all about. We've all seen this in action, and most of you have probably participated in some type of peer-to-peer fundraiser yourself, right? In fact, story time, I participated in a peer-to-peer event last month for the Humane Society that I support. Each year, the Humane Society that I volunteer with, they host an event, their Walk, Wag, and Run event, where participants raise funds to support the animals in their care. And then we all gather together to enjoy a big fun activity, an event to celebrate the organization. My friends and family generously gave to my fundraiser, including Claudia. Thank you, Claudia. You're the absolute best. To help me reach my fundraising goal, which this year was in honor of my dog, Wyatt, who passed away in May. Very, very tough. But my community rallied to support me and the Humane Society's wonderful programs and services. So it was bittersweet, but a moving and meaningful event for our family this year. And thankfully, I was able to surpass my fundraising goal to help animals in need in honor of my sweet pup. So there is a beautiful, purposeful power to peer-to-peer fundraising, and it's a wonderful tool to help your nonprofit expand your community as well as bring in those needed funds, right? So keep that chat going. Still, thank you so much for all of the amazing comments and feedback. This is great. Keep it rocking and rolling. So peer-to-peer fundraising can have a massive impact for your organization. So let's dive into that. And if you want to throw up that next slide, Brooke, you're the best. In 2023 alone, the top tier peer-to-peer fundraising programs in the US raised $1.1 billion in collected revenue. That's with a B, friends. Holy moly. And by 2024, revenue grew by 3% for the top 20 peer-to-peer fundraising campaigns. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. Those are incredible numbers. So let's explore some key reasons why nonprofits choose peer-to-peer as a fundraising strategy, just to kind of like help us set the stage a bit. Peer-to-peer fundraising can do quite a few things, but let's highlight the big ones. Creating a friendly competition. Peer-to-peer campaigns often raise funds quickly because they add this gamification and competition with team leaderboards, individual fundraising goals, and fundraising thermometers. You save time and money. So people who participate in peer-to-peer campaigns are volunteers or volunteer supporters of your fundraising, which can reduce costs and save time for you and your staff. It expands your network. This is one of my favorite things. So every peer-to-peer or team fundraiser participant opens the door to new networks of potential donors for your organization. You know, when I reached out for the Humane Society, I was reaching out to friends and family. Claudia, who doesn't live anywhere near my state of Michigan or doesn't know my Humane Society, was giving because she was supporting me as a fundraiser. And this nonprofit is important to me. So now Claudia knows about the Humane Society through me. So it's expanding that network for your nonprofit. It helps you empower your supporters. So a peer-to-peer campaign allows your most passionate, engaged followers to become advocates, strengthening your relationship and their commitment to your cause. We love to see that. And lastly, it really builds a movement. In his Mobilizing Funds webinar, the wonderful fundraising expert who we all know and love, the wonderful Floyd Jones, describes it like this. I see peer-to-peer and movement building as one and the same. It's not just about the funds. It's about who you're partnering with to propel your movement forward. The fastest way to ignite the movement and gather momentum for your cause is peer-to-peer fundraising. And nobody says it better than Floyd, right? We all know that. So peer-to-peer campaigns make fundraising personable and scalable. They spread hope. They spread inspiration. They spread community, right? It introduces your mission to people who may have never heard about your nonprofit, and it builds your community to engage your supporters. And they're very successful fundraisers to boot, right? So some of you may be thinking, well, isn't peer-to-peer just crowdfunding, right? And actually, it's not the same. There are some differences. So let's talk about it. So what I love is with peer-to-peer, the fundraisers sign up to solicit donations on behalf of your organization versus crowdfunding is more the organization puts up a campaign and of course directs everyone to provide support, right? So are you doing it yourself through one campaign or are you having your community reach out and fundraise on your behalf? Also, with peer-to-peer, you're utilizing multiple fundraising pages because every fundraiser has their own page with their own goal versus just the one campaign page that you're sharing. And of course, peer-to-peer focuses on recruiting fundraisers to expand your community and raise funds versus just receiving donations, right? So we love that. We of course, you probably have lots of virtual campaigns throughout the year, but a peer-to-peer campaign is really helping mobilize your supporters to go out to their communities and fundraise on your behalf. So the outreach is absolutely massive. So let's just pause here. How are we feeling? Have we changed our minds at all on peer-to-peer? Are we feeling a little bit better? Let us know. We want you to get pumped up as Claudia and I are about peer-to-peer. But now that we have a little bit more of an understanding, let's talk about how to build a successful peer-to-peer campaign. And there is nobody better for that job than Claudia.
Steph, thank you so much. I just want to call out, I've been reading a bunch of the comments, answering some questions here. And I want to call out Leah's comments here. As a founder of a nonprofit, I think my friends and family are sick of my fundraising requests at this point. I can completely understand that sentiment here. But I really want you to ease into what Stephanie had mentioned here. Stephanie is a volunteer at the Humane Society. She fundraises every year. She participates in this peer-to-peer fundraiser each year. So just thinking about how you can kind of create some sort of structure around your fundraising. So it's not just an ask each month, but it's something that you're using to rally your community. So now that you know exactly what peer-to-peer is, let's talk a little bit more about how you can host your own successful peer-to-peer fundraiser here. So with Givebutter, I have a little pun here in my note. You better believe it. Many organizations are already thinking about the fall and Giving Tuesday and just overall year-end fundraising. So think about those organizations that are already in the middle of June thinking about what their fundraising is going to look like months from now. I want you all to begin early when it comes to your peer-to-peer campaign. This is why we're having this conversation early as well. I want you all to have this head start so that you have more time for planning, that you have the time to send messages to your community, to provide resources for your fundraisers. We don't want to have a tight turnaround. I don't expect any of you to launch a peer-to-peer campaign tomorrow or next week. I don't want any of you to feel that burnout here. To get started with the planning process, there's really going to be 3 essentials that I want you all to focus on. It's going to be your fundraising goal. It's going to be a story or a program or a mission that this fundraiser is going to be supporting, and even just a couple of friends, staff, or family members who are willing and excited to help you spread the word. So those are going to be your core essential things that you need to begin thinking about in order to plan for your peer-to-peer fundraiser. So I'm sure many of you can think through what your needs are, why you need this program, why you're trying to fund or build this new capital building or program. I want you to just think about those who are close to you and care about your mission, and that's going to be the core of your peer-to-peer fundraiser. So Lee, I see your question here. What age group would you say peer-to-peer fundraising is most successful with? And I think I want to say when we're thinking about fundraising in the modern age, we're thinking about digital tools. And so you're typically going to find generations that are more comfortable with tech tools and softwares and platforms to be the most receptive to creating these profiles. When we think about a peer-to-peer fundraising profile, what's the difference between a social profile where they are talking about causes and issues and topics that they care about versus a peer-to-peer profile? Or what about a profile where they can go on and share posts? They can encourage friends and families to check out links that they're sharing on their profile. That's going to be the same experience that you find using peer-to-peer on Givebutter here, where they have their own designated story section where they can talk a little bit more about why they're getting involved, why they decided to volunteer like Steph has for the past couple of years. So really thinking about those building blocks and the demographics that you're going to have here for your peer-to-peer experience. Now, the 5 steps to peer-to-peer success. This is going to be your bread and butter. Thanks, Brooke. This is going to be your actual fundraiser. So we have some steps here. We're going to break down just a couple of the core topics here just to make sure we have some time, proactivity, and your engagement here. So when you begin building and growing your campaign, the most important piece is going to be your team. Who are your fundraisers? If you want to find ways to encourage friendly competition, how are you going to do that? How can you make this fundraiser, this personal experience? How are you going to rally the troops? So your frontline defensive supporters here. At the end of the day, this is all about how you are building community, how you are cheering on your fundraisers to become part of your community. So let's get into it. So as I had mentioned, the most important thing to peer-to-peer and building out your own experience is going to be planning ahead about who's going to help you out with this fundraiser of a sort. So hosting any fundraiser, even a peer-to-peer fundraiser, is going to have a lot of moving parts. And truthfully, I think it's far too many for just one person to manage alone. So something that I typically say, having been in nonprofits and having to wear many hats myself, just because you can do it alone doesn't mean you should. So I want you to think about how you can plan ahead, assign a team of staff, friends, volunteers who are going to help you support every aspect of your fundraiser here. So we have a couple of recommendations. We will break down the definitions. We have a freebie for you all, but you're going to have a campaign manager. This is going to be someone who is overseeing the fundraiser from start to finish. You're going to have these individuals who are making those high-level decisions, when to launch, how to create your beautifully branded campaign. Their role is really to keep everyone aligned and on task, so keep things moving. We're also going to have our marketing coordinator. So this is going to be the person who's in charge of the campaign branding identity, how your campaign shows up to your supporters. So any printed materials, a social media strategy, that messaging and communication strategy. We also recommend a sponsorship lead. Now, remember, this is our takeaway for you to help you build that robust program. If you don't have anyone who is currently a sponsorship lead or you haven't secured sponsorships yet, don't worry. This isn't going to be a deterrence for you. The sponsorship lead here, we would typically recommend as a way for you to identify and pitch to potential sponsors. So think about maybe creating some sort of level or package that you can offer to corporate partners, local businesses, so they can get involved in your community. This is going to be reaching a new network of donor acquisition in the process. You're also going to have a volunteer coordinator. I know we're using the word volunteer, but I want you to think of this as the person who's going to manage the fundraisers, the person who's going to help recruit, train, and keep them motivated throughout the experience here. So giving them the resources that they need to be successful in helping you fundraise. And then we also have the donor stewardship lead here, who is going to craft that donor communication and engagement strategy. So an important piece to actually having individuals give to your cause through peer-to-peer is retaining those donors. And if you are not inviting those donors into your work, you're not showcasing your mission, you are not thanking them, they are not going to give again. So I want to draw back to Steph's example. Stephanie posted about this peer-to-peer fundraiser that she was participating in. She had a very heartfelt, moving story along with it. And I gave, no hesitation, I gave because one, Stephanie is a very close friend. Two, I understand Stephanie's care and motivation to support an organization that's based around around animal rights here. And then we're also going to have that personal motivation where I want to also give, I want to support a cause, and who better to trust than my friend Stephanie, who is talking about this organization. So that is going to be the momentum that your fundraisers can bring to your own experience here. So like I had mentioned, you can consolidate some of these roles as well. You can use your board to kind of manage two of these different roles here as well. So just thinking through the ways that you can assemble your team to help you feel like you don't have to do it alone when you're planning. Now, if we go to the next slide here, I just want to talk a little bit more about the peer-to-peer features that you find on Givebutter. So choosing the right peer-to-peer platform is incredibly important. Essentially, you want to make sure that you're using something that's easy for your supporters, for your fundraisers, so that they can go on and share their profile with their friends, their family, through social media, email, text messaging, other things. Givebutter also will have this feature for team and individualized fundraising. So for those of you who had mentioned in the chat, how do you encourage friendly competition? How do you gamify the experience? You're going to have teams. You're going to encourage individuals to join those teams. So I'm trying to think of some of the examples based on the organizations here. So a common trend I see is with schools. Schools will break out teams based on grade levels, which can definitely get some students motivated here. If you are, I'm trying to think here based on some of the examples we see here. If you are a national organization, perhaps, then you might want to break up teams based on regions. So maybe you want to encourage your team members to join their region and make sure that their region or their chapter is the highest raising team on your peer-to-peer fundraising experience here. And if you have some questions or ideas about how you can gamify, let us know in the chat and we can definitely go on and answer that for you here. Now, we also are going to have personalized pages, like I had mentioned, but the important piece to this personalized page is that it lives on your campaign. So any new donors can see why Stephanie is getting involved in a fundraiser, but also learn through your organization's own words and messaging as to why this fundraiser is important or imminent for your organization. So what benefit is this going to provide, so on and so forth. Now, keep in mind, we have all of this in Givebutter. If you do have any questions about how to utilize those tools, just drop us a question. I see the Q&A already there, so I can make sure to answer those questions for us. Now, moving forward, Brooke, like I had mentioned, I'm going to jump around and I'm going to talk about some of the most important pieces. So rallying the troop is really about building your team. So identifying the individuals, the fundraisers who are actually going to participate, who are going to be enthusiastic about your cause. So this could be board members that you already have. You have a leadership or executive board. Encourage them to create that fundraising profile. You maybe have a good handful of volunteers. Those are going to be individuals who are going to create that peer-to-peer profile. And tap into your loyal donors as well. So donors who consistently are giving to your organization, you can track those trends in your Givebutter dashboard as well. You can see the top % of donors. If you find any donor who has consistently given to your organization or has shown up in other ways for your cause, coming to each gala that you have each year, invite them to become a fundraiser as well. So I want you to start building that list as you're thinking through your fundraising, your peer-to-peer campaign and that fundraising strategy. Make it long as well. Think of any and every person that comes to mind that would want to get involved in this experience. Leah, if that's friends and families, this is going to be a way to build and craft that movement, that momentum for your friends and family. So it's not just as if you're always asking for a contribution, you're asking them to get involved now. Now, when you're ready, you can personally invite each person to become a fundraiser. So you can give them a call, go out for lunch with them, something that feels a bit more personalized than just a mass email that goes out asking them to join. While that is an option for individuals who you're unsure if they're going to join as a peer-to-peer fundraiser, for those individuals you have that working relationship with already, I want you to make sure that you go out of your way to have that one-to-one invitation with them. Then you can go on and build out an instructional guide on how to create their own profile. You can manage their profile if need be. I know that some of us may be a little less tech savvy, but the core thing is that they have that profile that's ready to share. So they can share it in an email if that's their groove. They can post it on their Facebook if that's going to be the best way to spread the word. So giving them these various options as they are beginning to fundraise here. Now, the next piece here that I want to chat about, if we can go to the next slide, perfection, is making sure that you're providing support for your fundraisers and your team. So setting them up for success. And I know I'm using fundraisers and team interchangeably, my apologies. In our Givebutter dashboard, we call them team members because we want you to think of them as people who are supporting your mission. And so that's what we think of when we think of peer-to-peer fundraisers. You're going to want to give them great resources from the start. Things like a sample donation email request, a sample text message that they could send out, a call script. Being able to provide some materials that your supporters, your fundraisers can use to actually begin spreading the word about your organization, talking about your organization, and encouraging individuals to leave a gift. Now, you'll also want to make sure that you answer some basic fundraising FAQs. I want to make sure that your peer-to-peer fundraisers know how to talk about your organization and mission confidently. So we want to avoid any I don't know why they need $50, I don't know why they're fundraising. We want to make sure we're very clear when we're communicating with our fundraisers, our team members, why we're hosting this campaign. You might even think about creating some visuals. There have been some great organizations we've seen on Givebutter that provide social media assets, even virtual Zoom backgrounds with a QR code. So thinking outside of the box on how your supporters can use their everyday tools and social platforms to help your organization spread the word. Now, it doesn't need to just be resources that you're providing, but it also needs to be support. So I want you to check in with your fundraisers. I want you to engage with them as they're actively fundraising. If they raise their first $50, congratulate them. That is a big step for people who do not work in fundraising or have the experience of perhaps being a peer-to-peer fundraiser. I want you to also track their progress. What's working for them and what's not. A neat little feature you'll find in Givebutter is you can actually track invitations. So if you have a fundraiser who has not sent any invitations through our platform, maybe chat with them. Ask them what's impeding you from reaching out to your social networks? Is there anything we can do to help support you in this process? We don't want them to feel alone, especially as people who are outside of the fundraising community here. Now, I did mention I want you to cheer your fundraisers on as well. And that can go beyond just one-to-one conversations. I want you to put that on blast. Thank them. The same way you would put energy into creating a beautiful graphic for your sponsors to acknowledge their support, I want you to do that for your peer-to-peer fundraisers as well. That's going to be a way to encourage them to continue fundraising. Come back next year when you host your next peer-to-peer fundraiser. So celebrate their wins, whether it's big or small. You can list them on your website. You could create what we call a campaign update on your fundraising page to highlight some of the people in your community that are making splashes in your work. So with that said, I hope that was a little bit helpful in helping you plan and strategize how to build the momentum around your peer-to-peer campaign.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Claudia. So many good questions came in. So we got to a few. There's still a few that we can kind of answer live. I think that'll be helpful towards the end of the session. So thank you so much. Keep those questions coming. Feel free to use that Q&A feature for that as well. We'll make sure that we get to as many as we possibly can. So are we feeling a little bit more confident now after Claudia walked us through how to get everything set up and prepped? I hope so. And listen, there was a good question that came in, Louisa, should new organizations have perfected their crowdfunding strategy before trying peer-to-peer? It's a great question because we feel like that's what we need to do, right? We need to have everything perfect. We need to know exactly, we need to have had success doing this before. And I hear you on that. But the answer really is, as I said there, not necessarily. No, like any organization of any size, whether they're new or been around a long time, small team, volunteer team, or paid staff team, can run a successful peer-to-peer campaign because not all peer-to-peer campaigns look the same, right? So a peer-to-peer campaign can be 10 people. It can be 200,000 people, it can be any amount. It can be tied to a physical event or be virtual only. So there's so many things to think about as you're building out and planning your peer-to-peer campaign. So No need to strive for perfection. No need to have done this a million times before. Just make sure that you're utilizing some tools like the resources and tools that we provide to help you plan and get started. And just make sure that like you have a goal in mind, you've got a timeline prepared, you've got folks to ask to sign up to fundraise. So you're all set. You're on your way, my friends. So, all right. Let's dive into a fun activity, okay? So, when thinking about asking our friends and family to support our campaign, it's helpful to keep in mind the magic of messaging. So, we have a fun little interactive activity that we are going to do together. So, Burke, I'm going to have you just turn on to that next slide, my friend, and we're going to get this on the road. Imagine you're texting a friend to ask them to fundraise with you or support your cause. Just an honest, quick message from the heart. What would you say? The following, so we're going to go through a few slides together. The following are some less than great examples that we're going to talk about, and we'd love to hear from you as to why they're not good and how we could make them better. So we're going to go through about 4 slides here, and in the chat, go ahead and throw in there, why is this not great? What is not ticking with this one, right? And then, of course, we would like to have people perhaps come off mute, maybe one per slide, and just let us know what would you do to make that a little bit better. So let's go on to the next slide and start with the first one. I'll read it for us. Hello, I am fundraising. Please donate. Thank you. Okay, I know this is a little obvious maybe, but let's hear in the chat, what's wrong with this? Yeah, Cody, exactly. No reason or story. Why should I give, right? It's not specific. Katie, exactly. It's boring, Lori. Exactly. It's blah, Steve. No personalization. This is exactly correct. It's insincere. Yeah, for how much money? There's nothing there for us. Would anyone like to come off mute and just give a quick little, what's a little quick thing you would do to make this message a little bit better? If we have any brave volunteers out there. No worries if not. No worries if not.
Hey, Stephanie, Demetrius here.
Dimitri,
I'd love
thank
to see a
you.
name, a link. Hi, guys. Everything that folks are putting in the chat, but now that I look at it for the umpteenth time, a first name. I think there's great data goes a long way, but a lot of specificity in the ways that we already said otherwise.
Demetrius, thank you so much. You are spot on, my friend. A name. First of all, hello. Hello, Bob. Hello, someone, right? A link. Absolutely. How are they supposed to give without a link, right? Absolutely. We need more details. And as people are saying in here as well, you need a little bit more information. It feels, John, like an AI bot. It does. That's exactly what it feels like. So great job, crew. I love it. Thank you, Demetrius, for coming off mute. Let's keep it going. Let's go to the next one if we could. We're raising $13,476.82 to cover quarterly deficits for Q2 via segmented donor initiatives. Can you help meet our stretch goal? Okay, what do we got going on here? TMI, Katie. TMI. Right, Cody, WTF, what does that mean? It's not inspiring. It's boring. It's CEO speak. Too much jargon. Absolutely, y'all. Absolutely. Jessica, boring, not specific, no story, no visuals, nothing. Absolutely could not be more correct. What can we do here? Anybody want to come off mute for one more time here and just let us know, like, how can you tweak this just a bit to make it a little bit more palatable?
I'll jump in. I'm Adrienne.
Hey, Adrienne.
Hello. Well, first of all, if you're telling me you need to raise money because you're in a deficit, that's not my problem. That's your problem.
Yes.
So I might spin that to say, hey, we need to raise $15,000, insert mission,
Mhm.
and I don't care about your stretch goal either. Just, I want to know what impact I'm going to have.
Adrienne nailed it. Absolutely. First of all, down to the penny, let's round up a bit. Adrienne, you said 15. I like that. That makes a lot of sense. And yeah, what are we talking about deficits? That's not inspiring. People aren't going to want to give from a deficit. Like, again, like you said, Adrienne, like put your mission in there. What are we raising the funds for? And yeah, let's not say stretch goal. Like, let's just say this is our goal and here's why we need to make it. So thank you, Adrienne. I love it. Everybody in the comments too. Great thoughts. Katie, we urgently need blank to meet the need blank. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. This is great. Y'all are just on top of it. You're on fire. Okay, let's go to the next one here. if you really cared about me and my work, you would donate. Okay, manipulative, Cody. Yes, it's gross. Sylvia, it's gross. It is gross. It's a guilt trip. It sounds desperate. It's very cringe. Ariella, I totally agree. It's a bad approach. I don't want to get that text. That would totally give me the ick, right? Okay, so who's going to come off mute this time? Tell us how we can tweak this just a bit to make it a little better. Any brave souls? You all are spot on in the chat, by the way. Like, you're exactly right. Like, let's just not give a guilt trip. Let's just say, like, hey, here's something I'm really passionate about. I would love to have your support in giving to this organization, right? So not like if you really cared, let's lose that. And of course, not pressure. We never want to pressure anyone to donate, right? Yeah, like Michael, it's manipulative, right? So we don't want to pressure anybody. We want to invite them to give towards a cause that we ourselves are passionate about, right? And to help further their mission. So I love that. Sylvia says, I care about this. Please support me. Yeah, that's great. That's a perfect way to go about it, right? Great feedback, y'all. Okay, and we got one more that we're gonna throw out to y'all. This will change your life. Fundraising is the best thing you'll ever do. You have to join or else. All right, how are we feeling about that, right? 80 MLM. Yeah, right. It does feel a little pyramid schemey a bit, right? A little forceful. Yeah, it's bossy. It's a little threatening. I like the energy. Dimitri says, I like the energy. Again, vague otherwise. Yeah, the energy is good. There's a good energy there. So they've got something going for them, right? Eliza says, stop trying to sell me something. Yeah, it does feel a little salesy, a little infomercial-y, as Adrian says. I like that. So anybody want to come off mute or share how we can tweak this just a bit to make this sound a little less salesy?
Hi, it's Jenny. Cheers.
Hi, Jenny.
Hi. I think I would just say something like, this organization has really inspired me and I'm so excited to be fundraising on their behalf. And I know you care about XYZ as well. So please join me.
I love that. Thank you so much, Jenny. That's a great way to do it, right? Putting it back on you. This is something I'm really passionate about. I know you. I like how, Jenny, you said, like, I know that this is something you care about too, right? So that's something like in our peer-to-peer example, I was raising funds and Claudia gave to me because, of course, like we're very good friends, but also she has dogs herself. She cares about rescue too, right? So she's like, yeah, I want to give to this. This is something I identify with as well, right? So sharing it with people that are also kind of on board with that mission is really wonderful. And of course, taking out the bite there, like you have to join or else. Like we just want to keep it positive and kind and welcoming and not so scary or salesy, right? So I love that. Thank you all so much for participating in this little activity. It's really just helpful, I think, to hear from other folks, right? We want to hear, kind of bounce ideas and kind of make sure we're all aligned and kind of on the same page when it comes to things like messaging, because messaging is very important. So was this helpful at all? Do we feel maybe a little bit more prepared to talk about, your future fundraisers with your connections? Yes, very helpful. Oh, I'm so glad, Sylvia. I'm so glad, Demetrius. That's great. Claudia, we're feeling pretty good over here, but also, this is a lot. So what should we think about as far as next steps?
Yeah, before we jump into some best practices here, I just want to call out, as important as the ask is the thank you. And I would also say that you want to encourage your fundraisers to thank their friends and family for giving. Of course, your organization is going to double up on that when you send out your donor thank you letters or emails or however you go on and thank your donors, but you want to build upon that relationship that you already have, that your fundraiser already has with that new donor. So for example, Steph, I love that we were able to use your example today in our session, but after I had left that donation, of course, I got a thank you email from the Humane Society, but then Steph doubled up on that by sending me a beautiful handwritten postcard. If I had the time right now to grab it, it is quite literally right in front of me in a little book I have. But just that little small action that she took to go out of her way and thank me for supporting her to support a cause she cares about, it just meant the world. And personally, because of that strong relationship I already have with Stephanie, The next time Stephanie goes on and fundraises, I am going to be there and I'm going to be championing her because I know how much this means to her. So just something that I want you to really ensure that you convey to your fundraisers, that they should go on and thank the individuals who left them a donation as well. All right, so let's talk through some myths actually and some best practices to help you better grasp how to host your successful peer-to-peer experience here. So as I chat with organizations using Givebutter, there are two common sentiments I hear, and I mean each and every time I host an office hours on peer-to-peer. So I want to help us move past this cloud of doubt and maybe clarify a few things. So myth number one, it's difficult to manage. Peer-to-peer fundraising is too hard. I can't start. I don't know how to start. It's going to be too much. That is something that might have been true years ago, but not quite today when we have all moved digitally and have the ability to easily and quickly communicate with one another. So like I said, with the right tools, peer-to-peer is going to be an accessible and viable option for everyone, no matter your nonprofit size, no matter the number of team members you have, no matter your budget. This is going to be something that can help you with your fundraising strategy here. So as I had mentioned with Givebutter, as a gentle reminder, all of your information is in one place. So you are going to manage those fundraisers, those incoming donations, people who have fundraised for you in the past, how your donors know one another through relationships. There's going to be many different features that I want you to think creatively how you can use to continue and sustain this peer-to-peer strategy. Something else I want to note is that your fundraisers are going to have, I always call it a fundraising mini hub, but think of it as their own toolbox where they are going to have the ability to send out donation requests via email or phone number. All they have to do is enter the name of the individual, their email or phone, and click send, making it really simple for them. They are also going to have the ability to, within this little portal, make any additions or updates to their profile, update their fundraising goal if they already met their goal. So they are going to have access here to manage on their end. So you don't have to feel overwhelmed with having to manage all of those moving pieces for them. Now, the second myth that I often hear is that the supporters won't follow through. In fact, I actually think I saw that. I don't know if it was in the Q&A or in the chat here. So I hear it. I don't think my supporters will sign up or follow through. If they create a profile, they probably don't even go on and raise. Totally understandable concern. I get it. The truth is they will. They will when they are given clear direction, they feel supported, and they feel they're part of your community. If you tell someone to go on and create a fundraising profile and they don't know how to manage it, they don't know what the next step is, they don't know how to talk about your organization, of course they're not going to be able to go on and fundraise because they're not equipped with the right resources to effectively do that. And with the right support and celebration, I think you all know you can create an environment where your fundraisers feel very involved. They feel encouraged, inspired to go on and fundraise for your organization. So all of that translates into action. So for the second myth right there, it's not just your fundraisers. How can you give them the support that they need? Personally, I love peer-to-peer as a fundraising strategy. I always say this. It is going to be the best way for those newer, smaller nonprofits to acquire donors. You are tapping into the network of your existing network. They're tapping into their network of their network, and it just tenfolds here. So it is a very powerful tool to use when you're thinking about your fundraising here. Now, if we move forward, I want to talk a little bit more about how you can go on. Oh, Brooke, there we can go. How you can go on and actually consolidate all of this information we covered into one little pager. This is not quite a pager, it's a workbook for you of a sense. But on this screen, I want you to take a screenshot. I want you to grab your phone, whip out those phone cameras, and scan this QR code here because we actually revamped our Givebutter guide to peer-to-peer fundraising. So this is going to help you think through everything we chatted about today, down to how you're providing resources, what type of resources, Who are you reaching out to? Who is your internal staff team that's helping you build out your peer-to-peer experience here? So I just want to make sure that you all have this toolbox, this little document here that's going to help you build out your robust peer-to-peer campaign. So I love it, Katie. I do love a workbook. I love workbooks myself, especially when all of the information that I just learned is in one simple place here. All right. And Brooke did drop that link in the chat. We will also include that as part of the follow-up email here. Now, moving forward to best practices, it's going to depend on how well you know the individual you're inviting as a fundraiser. But a little toasty tip that I have for you is assigning fundraiser archetypes. So if you already know some of the individuals you will be inviting, you may know that not everyone is going to know how to fundraise, nor do they fundraise the same way. So tailor your support based on their strengths. So someone may be a talkative all-star. That's going to be the perfect person to hand some of your call scripts to people who haven't been responsive via email. Others may be a bit more quiet and prefer digital communication. Fantastic. Encourage them to send text messages instead and providing the language to them that way. You might also want to kick things off with a virtual kickoff or meeting call. So I want you to chat with those fundraisers individually. Remember that one-on-one invitation? Have that in that kickoff call as well. So remind them why you are inviting them. Who are they as part of your organization? Why are they special? What role are they going to have? So I think this is going to be a great way to help inspire your fundraisers to feel energized, united, and very clear on what their impact is going to be as part of peer-to-peer. I know that we're almost running out of time. We want to definitely get to questions, so I'll speed it up here. I have also seen campaigns add a layer of fun by gamifying their fundraisers' peer-to-peer experience. So think about ways that you can implement weekly goals, milestone badges, or if you even want to give a little swag, something that's probably been hiding in the closet of your office for quite some time, a mug, a hat, a sweater that you may have, you can award that to the top 3 fundraisers. And so keep reminding them of that opportunity as well. Keep them motivated. Now, like I had mentioned, you want to acknowledge your fundraisers. That's going to be one way to motivate them to continue fundraising for your organization, get out there talking about your mission. So throughout your fundraising campaign, maybe create a fundraiser hall of fame. Like I said, you could use that supporter feed. You could add a little wall of fundraisers' names on your campaign, on your website, pardon me, and just simply acknowledge and celebrate your fundraisers who are showing up. And then lastly, maybe even go on and encourage your fundraisers to send those short personal thank yous. I think a video is probably the easiest. It's the quickest. It's the most personal as well. It's a simple touch that's going to create that lasting connection between the fundraiser and the donor, your organization, and the donor here as well, because the fundraiser is some sort of layer or reflection of your organization here. So like I had mentioned, Stephanie wrote me a handwritten card, and I can visualize it in my head right now. Kind people meet kind people, or something to that effect, Stephanie. And it was just so meaningful. And it made me feel really appreciated as a donor. So just some ideas for you to implement, some best practices that you can adopt on as you're thinking through your own peer-to-peer experience.
I love that. Yes, absolutely, Claudia. Great tips. Can we get a little hand for Claudia? Like setting us up for success. I am here for it. We are so grateful for these tips and tricks and all the wisdom that Claudia has shared. And so now we have a little bit of time. We do have some questions that have come in. I do have a couple over here on my other screen that came in through the chat. So we can kind of start there. I know there's some in the Q&A too, so we're going to get to as many as we can in our final minutes here. Someone asked, how do we really ask volunteers to fundraise? And this is, I know this is a big deal, right? Because it's like, well, they're already volunteering, they're already giving, or they already donate. Now we're asking them to fundraise. I will just say it could be very surprising how many of your volunteers want to get in on the fundraising action. remember that your volunteers and donors are already invested in your mission. They already care about your cause. They already are here for you. And a lot of them would say, I already talk about how great you guys are to everybody. I would love to invite folks to fundraise for you too. So just think through, of course, your supporter base the best, your folks the best, but what I would just do is make sure that you are having this open and warm invitation and communication with them. You can call them, talk to them in person, or call them over the phone. Hey, we're going to do a peer-to-peer campaign for the first time. We're really excited about this, right? It's going to be a new thing, and you can talk to them about why you're doing it, what your plans are, what your goals are. Of course, you can put together a beautiful email and send it to your supporters saying, hey, here's what we're doing. We're excited to launch this new campaign. We really need your help to spread awareness of our mission and the work that we do to help us reach our goals. So I will say, just don't be timid. And if somebody says to you, absolutely not, I do not want to fundraise, that's okay. It's totally okay. There's no pressure. If they say, I already do this, or I already donate, I don't really feel comfortable going to my community, just thank them for all that they do. Say that's okay. You've given so many other ways. We're grateful for you. And then the other people that are excited to do it and it's a good fit for them and they want to join you, then welcome them in. So have no fear, friends. There was one other one I want to answer here. We have 800 students who will have profile pages. So a peer-to-peer for a school, it sounds like. How much can we do for them? Like uploading their info, pre-populating their profile pages. So I'm going to speak specifically to Givebutter here because this is more of a technical question and I want to make sure everybody knows for Givebutter what this looks like. Okay, and there was another question in the Q&A about this too. So I hope this answers your question as well. So when it comes to our peer-to-peer tool, there is an option to allow folks to register or sign up themselves, or you can, through like the manual option, sign someone up. The thing about it is, through the manual process with our peer-to-peer tool, it's not creating that account for anyone. It's kind of like I always say it's like for show. So it will still show like their name or whatever you put in for them. If you upload a photo, it will show that. If you put a goal for them, it will show. So you can do that. Sometimes that is a good workaround for someone who isn't going to actively be fundraising, as far as like wanting to sign in an account, see who gave to them and all that. So that might be okay. But generally speaking, our recommendation is to have folks sign up themselves. If you're talking about younger folks, then sometimes, a lot of times with schools and things, we'll see families and parents support them and help them through creating that fundraising account, or they'll put it in their own as the parent, and maybe put like a photo of the kids or something like that. So we do encourage folks to do that themselves, and then they can add in their story, their photo, all that good stuff. But yes, the answer is yes, you can support them in that. Like you can even support them through that process if you want on the back end. But generally speaking, folks are going to do that for themselves unless you do a manual ad. But just keep in mind, if you do the manual ad, there's no email address. No one's going to be able to access that account. It's kind of like a shell, kind of just for show on the campaign. And I hope that helps. Claudia, anything else on that piece?
Yeah, something I want to tie into that. As much as we want to make it a laissez-faire experience for our fundraisers, that is not empowering them. When they have to reach out to us to make any changes, to add any donations, to communicate with other people, we're kind of actually deterring them from being involved in this process and being a really effective fundraiser for your organization. So what's the saying? If you teach a man to fish, you feed him for life. We definitely want to encourage our fundraisers to learn how to use whatever fundraising tool you're using. If it's Givebutter, we have instructions that you can pass along to them. We want to empower them to be fundraisers on their own so that they can do it easily next year, the following year, and so on and so forth.
Absolutely. Great point, Claudia. Great point. A quick one in the Q&A from Sue. Sue, you had great questions in here. Want to add a spot asking for t-shirt sizes? Yeah, for sure, friend. Any campaign that you create in Givebutter, we have something called campaign custom fields. And that is a great tool for you to ask those custom questions like, what's your t-shirt size? And when someone goes through a the process to actually like purchase this, particularly if you're like purchasing a ticket or if you're signed up for like a registration, then of course folks can answer questions that you have. So that would be my recommendation. I also have seen organizations make that as part of like the registration ticket. Like some want a t-shirt, some don't, you know, so, and then you can ask that clarifying size question therein. So I hope that is helpful for you as well, Sue. And then Cody says, how long should a peer-to-peer campaign last? That is a great question. And Claudia, feel free to chime in on this. I will say that we see peer-to-peer campaigns last from like a day. I mean, as far as like the actual day that they're fundraising for like Giving Tuesday to like months. So it really, really is specific to what your campaign is. Is it like a day event? Is it like a walk and wag like I did? In which case folks are kind of fundraising for a couple months, you know, but there's like one day where it's kind of the final. For some, it's more of like an end of year appeal or campaign. So that could go on for months. So it really depends. Like it could be a few days, a few weeks, a few months. It's really going to be, you just want to make it specific to what your cause is, like what your focus is for that particular campaign.
And something I'll say for longer fundraising campaigns too is the same way donors experience fatigue of you asking them week over week, month over month to give and give, your fundraisers can also experience fatigue. So you just want to make sure that throughout however time frame or length your fundraising experience is, that you are empowering them, you're giving them tips, you're sharing successes and milestones with them, you are continuing to keep them motivated and engaged. So just something to think about if you are planning for a longer duration of a peer-to-peer fundraiser.
I love that, Claudia. Yes, thank you so much. And listen, oh my gosh, we are at time. We want to be very respectful of your time limit. We are almost at the 3 o'clock Eastern time hour. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining in this discussion. We hope this was helpful. We also do have just a few little quick reminders that we hope are going to be helpful for you. And of course, we have a slide deck coming out to you, and it's got all of our fancy QR codes on there. So have no fear. There we go, Brooke. You're the best. So first, be sure to sign up for future webinars and office hours. So the office hour sessions are hosted by your favorite and mine, Claudia, to help you on your fundraising journey, to help you as well kind of like get to know Givebutter a bit more and dive into those features. Also, join our Givebutter fam, connect with your fellow change makers and our own private community to get exclusive news and to support and celebrate each other's successes. And of course, lastly, if you could do us a little favor, please do provide your feedback through our webinar survey. What did you find helpful about the webinar? What could we do differently? Are there topics or other guests or resources that you would like to see? We are all ears, my friends. As always, we want to hear from you. And with that, we hope you have a fabulous rest of your Wednesday, friends. Thank you for joining us. We can't wait to see you next time. And keep us posted. If you launch those peer-to-peer campaigns, we want to know about it, okay? Let us know. Have a great day and enjoy your Wednesday. Bye. Thank you.